For thousands of years, humanity has been on its knees. We have built cathedrals of stone that scrape the sky. We have burned forests of incense. We have recited trillions of words, sending a ceaseless stream of requests into the ether. Save me. Heal me. Give me. Forgive me. We call this prayer. We are taught that prayer is the key to the door of the divine. We are taught that if we ask with enough faith, enough repetition, or enough sacrifice, the door will open. But look around you. Look at the state of the world. If prayer and the way we practice it was the mechanism for change, this world would be a paradise. Instead, the silence from the heavens is often deafening. What if I told you that for the last 1,600 years, we have been holding the wrong key? What if the very act of praying to an external god is not a bridge, but a barrier, buried in the sands of Egypt? The ancient Gnostic text, Nag Hammadi, Library of Ill, a startling truth. They describe a distinction that the institutional church worked for centuries to erase. They teach that there are two gods. There is the Demiurge, the noisy, jealous architect of the material world who demands your worship, your words, and your fear. And then there is the monad. The true source, the ineffable silence. The ancients didn't pray to the monad. You don't ask the ocean for water when you are already wet. You don't beg the sun for light when you are standing at noon. They didn't practice prayer. They practiced union. Tonight, we are going to dismantle the machinery of religious transaction. We are going to explore why the ancients believed that begging an external deity is a trap set by the ark, and we will learn the lost art of direct communion, the path not of words, but of frequency. Stop asking. Start becoming. To understand why we pray the way we do, we must understand the cosmic feudalism that hijacked human spirituality. In the ancient world among the shamans, the early mystics, and the original Gnostic spirituality was direct access. It was experiential. If you wanted to know God, you went into the wilderness, you fasted, you entered the silence, and you experienced Gnosis direct knowledge. You didn't believe in God. You knew the source, because you touched it. But as the Roman Empire adopted Christianity in the 4th century, a shift occurred. The empire couldn't control a population of mystics who talked to God directly. They needed a hierarchy. They needed order. So, the Council of Nicaea and subsequent church councils engineered a new architecture of reality. They placed God high above, in a distant heaven. They placed humanity down below, in a fallen earth. And in the middle, they placed the church. Priest. The sacrament. Prayer was transformed from a state of being into a transaction. It became a petition system. You submit a request to the intermediary, the priest or the saint, who passes it up the chain of command to the king god. If you are obedient, if you pay your tithes, if you follow the rules, perhaps the king will grant your favor. This created a spiritual psychology of lack. When you pray to a god out there, you are affirming that he is not in here. Every time you beg, you reinforce the separation. Every time you plead for salvation, you validate the idea that you are a wretched outsider. The Gnostics saw this as the ultimate deception. In the Apocryphon of John, a secret text hidden for centuries, it reveals that the entity who demands this kind of worship, the entity who says, "I am a jealous God and there is no other beside me," is not the true Father. It is Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, the false god of ego, matter, and control. Think about it. Does the true source of all existence and infinite, perfect consciousness need your flattery? Does it need you to beg? Does it have an ego that gets angry if you don't talk to it? No. Only a tyrant needs constant validation. The Gnostics argued that when you engage in begging prayer, you are feeding the archons. You are giving your energy to the system of control. So, if we aren't supposed to beg, what are we supposed to do? How did the Master Jesus actually teach his inner circle to connect with the monad? To find the answer, we must redefine God. In Gnostic theology, the ultimate God is called the monad, the one. The monad is not a man in the sky with a beard. It is not a personality. It does not judge. It does not get angry. The monad is the pleroma. the fullness. It is the silent, intelligent ocean of consciousness from which all souls emerged. You are a drop of that ocean. The drop does not pray to the ocean. The drop returns to the ocean. In the Gospel of Philip, another forbidden text, there is a concept called the Bridal Chamber, the nymphone. This is not a physical room. It is a state of consciousness where the separation between the I and the divine dissolves. This is what the ancients taught instead of prayer. They taught communion, and the difference between prayer and communion. 1. Directionality. Prayer is outward. It projects energy away from you toward an external object. Communion is inward. It directs energy into the core of the self, where the divine spark resides. 2. The language prayer uses words logos of the mind. It tries to explain, justify, and bargain. Communion uses silence logos of the heart. It bypasses the intellect entirely. 3. The goal prayer seeks to change circumstances. God, please change this situation. Communion seeks to change the self. I align with the reality where this is already resolved. Jesus hinted at this in the canonical Bible, though it is often mistranslated. He said, "When you pray, go into your closet and shut the door." Matthew 6:26. The closet is not a wardrobe. It is the inner chamber of the mind. Shutting the door is the act of shutting out the five senses, disconnecting from the illusion of the material world. He also said, "Do not be like the pagans who think they will be heard because of their many words." Why? Because the monad already knows. The connection is quantum, not linguistic. The ancients taught that the monad broadcasts a frequency of divine will constantly. It is a signal of pure love, order, and evolution. We don't need to ask the signal to broadcast. We just need to tune our receiver to the right station. Most of us are tuned to the station of the world, fear, noise, desire, lack. Prayer is often just us shouting over the static. Communion is tuning the dial until the static stops and the music begins. Let's strip away the theology and look at the mechanics. Modern quantum physics brings us closer to Gnostic truth than traditional religion ever did. Everything is frequency. Your thoughts, your emotions, your consciousness state are all wave. When you engage in begging prayer, you are emitting a specific frequency. What is the vibrational signature of "please give me this"? It is the vibration of absence. It is the vibration of "I do not have." The universe acts as a mirror. If you broadcast "I do not have," the quantum field, the monad's mechanics, reflects back more not having. This is why desperate prayers often go unanswered. The desperation is the prayer, and it creates more of itself. The Gnostics understood the law of resonance. To commune with the monad, you must vibrate at the frequency of the monad. The monad is whole. It is complete. It is abundant. Therefore, the ancient method of prayer was actually a method of alignment. Instead of asking for peace, you become peace. Instead of asking for health, you visualize and feel the reality of vitality. You enter the bridal chamber, the state of union where you and the desired outcome are one. The Be Still protocol the psalmist wrote. Be still and know that I am God. This is the instruction manual. Be still. This is the deactivation of the archonic noise, the stopping of the ego's narrative. And know. This is gnosis, not believe, not hope, but know that I am God. The recognition that the I am presence within you is the same substance as the monad. When you achieve this stillness, you are no longer a beggar at the gate. You become the son, daughter in the house. You stop sending requests and start sending commands, decrees. This is why Jesus commanded the storm to stop. He didn't pray, "Father, if it be your will, please stop the wind." He stood in his authority as a fractal of the monad and said, "Peace, be still." He resonated peace so strongly that the chaos had to align with him. This is the secret the church hid. They want you to believe you are the storm. Jesus came to teach you that you are the silencer of the storm. So, how do we stop begging and start communing? How do we break the habit of a lifetime? We must move from petition to presence. Here is the ancient Gnostic protocol for direct communion with the monad. Phase 1 Te. Disconnect the fast from noise. You cannot hear the monad while you are consuming the Demiurge S signal. Before you sit, disconnect from the archonic feed. Phone off, news off, drama off. Close your eyes. Withdraw your attention from your body. You are not your hands. You are not your pain. You are not your history. Phase 2. The descent, the inner room. Bring your attention to the center of your chest, the heart center. The Gnostics believed this was the seat of the divine spark. Do not speak words. Words are heavy. Instead, use breath. Inhale, slowly visualizing light entering the crown. Exhale slowly, expanding that light from the heart. With every breath, sink deeper into the silence. Phase 3. The alignment resonance now. Instead of asking for what you need, invoke the feeling of the monad. If you need healing, do not ask to be healed. Feel the indestructible nature of your spirit. The spirit cannot be sick. The spirit cannot be broken. Tune into that frequency. Let it wash over your physical vessel. Say internally, I and the Father are one. Feel the relief of that truth. Phase 4. The listening gnosis. This is the most important part. Stop talking. Just listen. Communion is a two-way street. The monad is always transmitting wisdom, guidance, and comfort. In the silence, you will receive downloads, sudden knowing, shifts in perspective, a wash of unexplained peace. This is the peace that surpasses understanding. This is the monad hugging the drop back into the ocean. The archons want you on your knees. AIS cast down, begging for scraps of mercy from a tyrant they invented. They want you to believe that you are small, sinful, and separated. But the monad, the true Father, wants you standing tall. The monad does not want your worship. It wants your remembrance. It wants you to remember who you are. You are not a servant. You are a fractal of the divine light. You are the eyes through which the universe sees itself. When you stop praying to God and start praying as God, the entire universe shifts. The silence is not empty. It is full of answers. The door was never locked. You were just pushing on it when you needed to pull it inward. So tonight, do not say a prayer. Enter the silence. Find the spark and commune with the source that has been waiting for you since before the stars were born. Prayer is the bridge for those who believe they are far away. Communion is the breath of those who know they are already home.